And hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the Waterdhavian Job. I'm your DM, Brad, joined today by 4 of the 5 players who will be continuing. Before we hit off with the recap, which somebody is totally doing, a bit of an announcement. Due to personal reasons, Thor will not be participating in the game for the time being. He may or may not be back by Storm King's Thunder, but for the time being, he's stepped away. He may still be lurking. I don't know if he is. If you are, hello, Thor. If not, well, that's a shame.
See ya, traitor.
See ya, traitor. Unfriended from Steam and Skype. That's a callback. Yeah, so he will not be joining, but I have invited another friend of mine from one of my Final Fantasy rating groups, Elise. Hello, and welcome to this group that you definitely did not make a mistake in joining.
Hi.
You've met me.
I have, and it was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that how you would describe it? Anyways, So, continuing on today, first things first, I guess which one of you 2 players that are still alive currently and have characters that have been introduced would like to do the recap and gain a point of inspiration?
I have no inspiration.
Do I have inspiration?
So
Nor do
Reginald does not. I feel like Zach has done it less, so... Zach, why don't you tell us what happened
I've already
last
proven
time?
that I know what happened last time. Last time? On the
Yes.
Waterdhavian Job. I missed the first half, I remember that much. But I remember we got roped into going to the dock ward with Sheldrake in an attempt to help him with this mission that a friend of his had given him to find the I guess he would be considered a serial killer at this point, going around killing elves and half-elves in the dock ward at night. So we decided to go scout the area first in the day, and not much really came of that. So we decided to go back later in the night, and not soon after having made our way to the dock ward, we encountered a man skulking after another, what appeared to be drunken half-elf, I believe it was. So being the good Samaritans that we are, we decided to intervene. And sure enough, the stalker was indeed the murderer. And all weapons came out, and we decided to have a go at him in an attempt to bring him to justice. Little did we know is he'd be a lot harder to take down than we thought, considering he was a drow. So he had his latent magical abilities, which kept us blind most of the fight. And once he started to levitate in the air, our lack of range capabilities became a heavy problem for us. Considering all that was left was me, Sir Reginald, holding on to him as we levitated, what is it, like almost 100 feet into the air, and the only other person who was able to keep up with us was up in the air was our friend that I can't remember his name, the Birdman, Dricken,
His
the one
name
who
is
gave
right
his
there.
life. Wait, is it right there? Where is it?
On his token.
Is the token still there? Oh, it is. I thought we got rid of that. It was Dricken.
Oh
But
my God.
alas, he took a shot to the heart and fell from the sky.
And you're to blame.
Dead on impact. And soon enough, even Reginald thought that it was time to let go. And his grip slipped and he fell to the earth, only to be caught by Valerie Cadencia von Bourbon, who took a very hefty blow herself trying to stop Reginald from meeting his death on the ground. And I believe right there is about where we left off, because I don't think we actually made it back to the inn.
Yes, indeed. So as we come back into the action, it is still sort of late at night here, deep in the dock ward, this sort of side alleyway, looking out on the looking out on the streets, and we see basically the four of you gathered around. Bassick and Sheldrick are there as well, although they are kind of like off to the side for now. But basically, you are all standing around Dricken's lifeless body. You can see basically there's like a small puncture mark like on the front of his chest, like through his clothing. But like Sheldrick turned him over to like take a closer look at some of the wounds, and the back of his like chest has just been blown open, the large exit wound from the projectile that kind of tore through his torso, and he was basically pronounced dead on the spot. There was nothing Sheldrake could do to resuscitate him at this point in time. And so you have all sort of like settled in. It's very quiet. Nobody really like knows what to say. But you begin to see flickering lights in the nearby windows of buildings that like look out onto the alleyway. It becomes clear that the loud noise of the fight, having taken place maybe only a few moments, has alerted some of the nearby residents to this fact, and probably irritated them somewhat. They are unaware of the circumstances here. So you are sort of bracing yourself, expecting like a mob of angry people to emerge from their homes, when you hear like the sort of distant sound of like a whistle like blowing, as you can hear like heavy like footsteps in the distance approaching towards the loud noise that is echoing through the area. So yeah, I think we pick up again. Basically, you guys are standing around. You guys being Reginald and Valerie, the only two currently conscious people. Bassick is off in La La Land, and Sheldrake is in a similar boat. So yeah, you see basically like this scene as guards kind of swarm in like a handful of them, as well as like people begin to emerge from their homes to like examine the scene and like see what's going on, carrying kind of like candles to see by, and there's a lot of noise basically around you. It's like people are kind of like trying to like figure out the situation. The guards are trying to calm people down and also like figure out what's going on with you people. Why is there a dead body here? Like, it's a chaotic scene. So
maybe we should leave. Yeah. I think we maybe just try and bounce here.
Well, nah, we don't need to flee a crime scene right now, considering we're pretty much seen in it.
Yeah, I suppose leaving
That
now is just make it
would
worse.
probably be a bad idea, yes.
Now, if we would have gone before they got here, that was another story.
Yeah. Well, I think Valerie's still a bit dazed, and Dricken's dead, so it's kind of upset about that. So,
I mean, I just hit the ground really hard.
get ready to answer some questions, everyone.
Yeah, so I think like at this point, I think the guards are like some of them break off to like kind of calm down the civilians who are a little bit like perturbed at having been woken up in the middle of the night. And I think one of them, whoever's like in charge, the most senior ranking of them, will come up to you basically and just like ask you to just like come with him, and he's got some questions for you. And you can see another one kind of like begins to like look around the scene, like obviously trying to like piece together what happened, and like gathering forensics and whatnot, although they don't really have like forensics.
Right to you.
Yeah, black light.
So assuming that you go along, the guard takes you to like the nearest guard station and basically just asks you a bunch of questions about like the scene. Now, is there anything you want to lie about, or are you just going to tell exactly what happened to the guards?
I mean, I don't think there's anything that needs to be lied about.
Yeah, I don't think so either, to be honest.
Yes, but you
I
never
mean-
know. Sometimes
I lie about my name. It's not Sir Reginald.
people like to lie about the stupidest things. Yeah, so assuming that you are like truthful and forthright with them, they don't see some like collect evidence comes back from the crime scene, and everything seems to like corroborate with your story. So after like a few minutes of questioning, they like let you go, offering condolences for your friend, and perhaps like another warning about vigilantism in the streets and kind of what it leads to.
Before, didn't we? That's not that same guy telling us.
No, not this time. No, yeah, he doesn't appear to be here at this time of night. But it's a very similar message that you receive. But yeah, so they, I guess the guards offer to sort of take the corpse of your friend to like the, I guess, like morgue or whatever. The equivalent would be, if you do not. Or you can, take it into your possession and do so yourself. At some point.
Can we take his possessions into our possession?
I mean, yes. Although stripping him in public is probably not a good idea. So in that case, you would probably want to take the body like with you and say like, oh, we'll make preparations ourselves, and then like, take his stuff off of him. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he really has much of anything from what I remember. But
They had like a
talking about-
healing potion, a quarterstaff, a little bit of gold.
This kind of slave, would definitely have things.
He was a slave.
No, no, he wasn't.
Take the money, Will.
And the health
Alright.
potion.
And the health potion.
So I think
Roll into the gutter.
we'll skip ahead. As you take him, basically, yeah, he has his quarterstaff. He has a single healing potion, and he has 5 platinum coins.
The fuck?
Yeah, I don't
What?
know where
Where'd
he
you
got
get
but he has them apparently.
He's been holding
No,
out.
I just traded them.
Oh, he
like,
traded
I
them
just
down.
gold.
Yeah, I think so. I think he traded.
I just
them
have
down.
less gold
He's got 55 gold.
from the 100 we
hold
got
it,
from the
Valerie, or do
the
you want me to?
job.
Do you want to hold the 55, James, or do you want me to hold the 55?
Sure, yeah, you can take the 55. I guess I'll just take the 5 platinum.
All right, and then he has 16 silver and 50 copper. And that is-
16 silver.
That is all his possessions. Yes.
I'll take the silver, you get the copper.
Deal. You said 50 copper?
Yes, 50 copper.
Yes, I'm 100 copper. My copper empire rises.
Copper!
All right. So I think then we kind of cut forward as you guys make your way back to Troll Skull Alley and the manor there to sort of kind of like see to your own wounds and kind of just take a breather after this intense fight to mourn the loss of your friend. Obviously, Sheldrick says that he will make arrangements to see that Dricken is properly seen to tomorrow. I know you basically, yeah. Somebody has to be here for the inspector, so Sheldrick offers to like basically begin the process of setting up kind of like a funeral service and whatnot.
Wonderful.
And Bassick cooks a heartwarming meal in honor of his late sous chef.
Like sushi, it's not the same without him.
Not the same, yeah.
Bassick takes time to grieve. That's why he doesn't join us for this adventure today.
So I think we cut ahead to the next morning. You all complete
Long
a
rest.
long rest, and first thing in the morning, again you hear the sounds of construction beginning across the street. Although it seems to have slowed down somewhat, as they are making pretty good progress. The number of workers they have working on the scene, and so you're there. Sheldrick basically makes arrangements to basically see Dricken's body to the city of the dead, where there will probably be like a like funeral of some sort, like basically arranged for him, like at a later date. Yeah, and so I think like the first like part of the morning proceeds pretty uneventfully. I believe it was like noon when the inspector was due to show up. So I think that, yeah, we'll just sort of go ahead. Let me tick the day over. Just make sure that I do. Right, is currently the 20th. Yeah, so you hear basically like you're all gathered in the tap room of the inn, and you kind of like hear this like knocking, knocking on the door. Valerie, you're probably like basically in the kitchen. Sheldrick's away, and you and Sir Reginald are kind of hanging out.
Yep.
And you
I
hear
will
the
answer the
knocking.
door.
Okay. So as you answer the door, it opens up, and you see on the other side what looks to be like a dwarf of like average height, dressed in sort of like tradesman attire, and he has this sort of like basically like a yield clipboard, kind of, and these like spectacles on his nose, and he sort of says, "I'm here to perform the inspection that you requested."
Ah, yes, wonderful. Please, come on in.
And
And
he
I'll
says,
gesture him inside.
"Indeed." And he says, "Would you show me to the foundational levels of this establishment?"
Be careful, it's haunted.
Excuse me?
Ignore him. I guess we'll make our way into the basement then. That's the foundational level, right?
Oftentimes, yes.
Okay, cool. So I'll
9
show
times
him
out
into
of
the
10.
basement. I'll give him a little grand tour. I'll be like, yeah, so this is where the beam collapsed and this bit of the wall came off.
Hmm.
All
We
that
found the
stuff.
children's bones.
And he says,
Don't mention that bit.
"Very well, I shall begin my inspection." And he says, "You may wait in the room above while I conduct a thorough analysis of the structural integrity."
Do you require anything, or...?
He says, "If you've something to drink, I would be most appreciative of that. However, I do not require anything."
Fair enough. Well, I suppose I'll make my way up. I'll say to ask Bassic if we have anything that we can offer to drink. I'll take it to him. If we do.
Vinegar.
Vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Lots and lots of vinegar. So much vinegar. I assume you guys have like water that's been drawn from like
There's a well outside,
Yeah.
maybe.
at the very least. Yeah, so you collect a drink, pass it along. He takes it, thankfully, and basically, yeah, you see he begins to like walk around the basement. If you like watch him at first, he seems to kind of like be tapping at the walls and kind of like placing a hand on it and like examining the seams and sort of the mortar and stones that have been assembled to construct the basement's foundation. And occasionally he like marks a note on his little like clipboard before like continuing on to another section. And he seems to be taking like a pretty like thorough process. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. While he's doing this, it is unsure how long it is going to take. But about an hour passes when Valerie, you hear another sort of like knock on the door. This one a bit unexpected.
Very well. I'll go and answer it.
Yeah, so as you open the door, you see on the other side a familiar figure, one whom you recognize.
The
His
Rainier?
sort of- yeah, you see him, his sort of like a long, sort of like flowing red hair, and his kind of like noblish tunic and attire. And he sort of greets you as you open the door, and he says, "Lady Valerie," and he says, "I came as soon as I could. I heard the terrible news from Sheldrake on my way here."
Ah, yes, you ran into him. Yes, we're all a bit shaken about what's happened to our dear friend. Would you like to come in?
And he says, "If you do not mind." And he says, "It's actually not entirely why I was originally coming here." And he says, "I figured that you could use some assistance in this endeavor of yours." And he says, "And I found a few folks that were perhaps willing to help you out in that regard. I came to introduce
Oh.
them." And he says, "I'm sure they're somewhere around here." As he's kind of like looking around. He says, "They might have gotten distracted by the amenities of this place."
I look around, like I don't think anyone else has come in, but I'll step aside and walk him in.
Sure. So yeah, as you're like looking around and like stepping inside, I think you do see like a figure like approaching from like around the corner. And I guess let us start with Mike. Would you please describe what Valerie sees, who Valerie sees like walking around the corner, basically, as she is escorting Rainier into the building?
All right, you see a tall, obviously, and quite lean, like stringy muscles, a Goliath, wearing a fine blue silk tunic with a, for some establishments, unappropriately deep V-neck, and tight black leather pants and well-crafted light brown fox skin boots. He also carries a rapier on his hip.
Mike,
He
you made a
has
pimp.
no. He has except he is completely bald except for a small spot on the top of his head where he has like a decent growth of hair that goes into a ponytail. And other than that, he is almost entirely free of hair. He has he's about 6'7" tall. He has amber eyes, and his skin is light grayish.
I see. Does he have to like bend to like get through the doorway a little bit?
Probably. And even if it's tall enough for him to go in straight, he probably does it just out of habit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think these doors being sized. Actually, the original like proprietor of this place was a dwarf. So definitely, the doors are a little short, so you're kind of having to like push yourself underneath the mantle of the door to get through.
Yeah, and I step in through.
And yeah, you see Rainier sort of turns and says, Oliver, there you are. And he says, and then he turns to you, Valerie, and he says, Valerie, this is Oliver, a a relative of a friend of my mother's. And he says, he was looking to find some honest work, and well, I figured that this would be a good place to start.
Ah, I see. Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Oliver. I am Valerie Cadencia von Bourbon of House von Bourbon, and this is my friend and retainer, Sir Reginald von Rockenheim Esquire the Third. Yes, I got it all in
A pleasure.
one go.
Yes,
Help would always be welcome, especially in times
I've-
like this.
I have been told about you, my lady, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Sir Reginald. I am Oliver de Armos, and well, I would like to extend my condolences for your recent loss, as I've been told.
Much
Very,
appreciated.
very unfortunate timing.
I presume you met Sheldrake on the way with Rainier here. We also have another friend, Bassic, who's in the kitchen, though, but I don't think he wishes to be disturbed at the moment.
Furious cooking sounds intensify.
Yes, I did not speak to the Sheldrake, but I did see him in with speaking with Rainier.
Ah, wonderful. There's, was there another one as well?
Yeah, so Rainier looks around as Oliver sort of like steps in, kind of like sits himself around. Yeah, it should be around here somewhere. And yeah, then you see sort of behind Oliver, almost kind of like obscured by his like large form, another figure behind him. And why don't you please describe your character for us, Elise?
See, young woman, probably like early 20s, with wavy brown hair and like a gold hairband and slight hint of pointy ears. Got a white shirt with a brown vest over it and a nice little red scarf.
Yeah, so as she enters in, Rainier says, there you are, Ariadne. And he says,
Please call me Arya.
yes. And he says, this is Arya. And she says, she is another sort of friend of mine. I am more acquainted with her mother than her herself, but I brought her here because I had heard rumors being spread about your tavern being somewhat, well, haunted, you might say. And Arya and her mother are both foremost experts on the occult, and I thought her expertise might be able to assist you somewhat.
Well, that should be mighty helpful. Although I don't think it's haunted anymore. Well, not malevolently anyway. We still have Leaf.
Leaf.
I mean,
Leaf is
What?
the previous owner of this establishment.
I think as he's like saying this, you see like behind the bar, one of the like sort of wooden mugs kind of begins to like float in the air almost, and like kind of like moves across the bar to the other side. Like and
But
like this
he's-
rag kind of like comes up from behind the bar and begins like polishing this mug just on its own.
But he's fine. He's helping us refurbish the place.
Well, isn't that
Do
it?
you have spectral servants here?
It's going to be the inn's thing.
Ghosts.
Well, perhaps.
Is
Well,
there?
not nasty ones. Leaf is
Of course,
fine.
I mean, there was the other situation that had occurred not too long ago.
Mhm. Like Valerie would be like, we did have a case of there was like a possible negative haunting, because I don't know how much of you know about the history of this place, but apparently once a hag ran it as an orphanage and liked to eat children. So there was quite a bad situation with that. However, we've not seen anything since we put the bones to rest, so I hope that means we're fine.
Well, I don't think we really put them to rest. We're assuming they've been put to rest now. We gave them to the watch.
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of experience with ghosts. Are there good kinds of haunting?
Of course, we have Leaf. I gesture over to like rag cleaning the glass.
Oh,
Admittedly, this is more my mother's area of expertise than my own, but I can take a.
your mother is an expert in hauntings?
He's an expert in a lot of.
Sorry, did Rainier give us her name?
My name,
Yeah.
Yeah, Arya.
Ariadne, Arya.
Arya for short, yes.
Okay, Arya. I'll say, okay, so you're, how do I guess is the term cleric used?
No,
No?
I have a. You can see a spell book on my belt.
Ah. So she'll see that and she'll be like, oh, it's one of those.
Oh, wait, is she a wizard? Or she's a wizard. Spellbook, yes, wizard. That's a wizard.
That's a wizard. Another one. Well, anyway, Valerie would sort of say, it's like, well, thank you very much, Rainier, for, bringing us these additional hands. I'm sure we'll all be great friends and have a wonderful time refurbishing this place that's caused me no end of stress.
Yeah, so he puts like a hand reassuringly on your shoulder, and he says, "I'm sure you'll make it through." And he says, "After all," he says, "you're made of stern stuff, I'm sure." And he says, "And you've friends to look after you." He says, "That is all that one really needs to get through the tough times in life." And he says, "Once again, I offer my deepest condolences, and I'm sure that you are a little bit tight on gold and the likes." And he says, "Allow me to at least offer to cover the expenses of your friend's funerary rites."
Are you quite sure?
And he sort of nods and says, "It will not be a large inconvenience for me."
She'll nod and say, that's very generous of you, Rainier. Thank you.
And he just sort of nods and says, "I will make my way to the City of the Dead and catch up with Sheldrick and make arrangements there." He says, "In the meantime," and he sort of turns to the two newcomers and he says, "Make yourselves at home and, I don't know, get to know each other, I suppose."
Thank you, Rainier. I will see you later.
And,
Likewise.
he sort of nods and says, "And try to stay out of any more trouble for the time being."
We'll try.
We will no longer be chasing after any murderers.
Yeah, so he makes his leave from the establishment, leaving the four of you in the tap room,
Yes.
sort of alone. You can
All right.
still hear the sort of like footsteps down beneath the floorboards of the dwarf, kind of like down there, like occasionally like tapping the wall with like some sort of like hammer or something of the likes, and just kind of generally going about his business.
Fair enough. Show me their sheets, Brad.
Yes, let me edit.
And I can see Olivar's nameplate, but not hers.
Really, I thought players. Let me just.
Ariadne Fall Song. And Olivar. Oh, holy crap, he's ripped.
It was one of the few pictures I could find where he wasn't like bare chested and raging.
People do love their bare-chested raging Goliaths.
Yeah,
Mhm. Talk about stereotyping.
the only Goliath that isn't a barbarian.
Well, I suppose Valerie would say it's like, well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintances. Shall I show you around?
Yes, it's a pleasure as well, my lady. Please do.
Wonderful. Well, this is the tap room. This will be where the patrons would ordinarily sit and drink. However, at the moment it's kind of been relegated to our living room, I suppose. Then I'll sort of like lead them to the back. There's the pantry. In there's the kitchen, but like I say, I think Basic's a bit busy and doesn't want to be disturbed, and there's like a clang, I suppose, and Basic's swearing or something. Yeah, it's best just to leave him for now. I mean, I'll give them the tour.
Who's
Like,
down in this hatch? I'd say I hear a bunch of banging and grunting down there.
that's the cellar. We currently have a member of one of the guilds here to do evaluations in our foundations for some work that I will be contracting soon. So best just to leave him him for now. Then I'll sort of lead you all up into the second room, and I'll show you like the den and the common hall and the bedrooms and where we've all been sleeping, I suppose. And I'll say the roof leaks a lot and gets pretty drafty, and it smells a lot of mold. But, like I say, hopefully we'll soon have that all sorted. And I take them up to the third floor and I'll show them all that. If I remember correctly, I think all the crap that we were like moving down is still on the second floor, so there's a lot of crap you probably notice as well. And then of course the garrets. I don't think I'd bother with the turret peak. That thing's probably unstable and dangerous anyway. And after we're done, I suppose we'll come back down to the tap room and I'll say, and that's Trollskull Manor, basically. It's got quite a history attached to it, and my name is on the deed, so I'm responsible for making sure it's not a ruin.
Quite a lovely
Quite an-
place.
Indeed, it's an impressive estate, but it's in quite a sorry state.
Yes, it very much is so in that. Well, luckily Rainier's been sending us work our way though, so hopefully we can actually get some more refurbishments done. But enough about me and the estate, and I'll sort of like, let's go for Olivar, and I'll say it's like, Olivar, so what can you do then?
You ask to Alavar.
Can you
Well,
be more specific?
I don't want to say artificer. I suppose what Valerie would say it's like I'm a bit of a um, engineer myself. So I'm when it comes to fighting, so I have things that I can use to keep enemies fight enemies from range. And Sir Reginald is very good up in the front. And considering our lives have been very dangerous at the moment, I suppose I should ask what you're able to do in a combat situation.
Let's see. I suppose I can consider myself quite the versatile person. I have some magical capabilities I express through music. And I always have my trusty rapier. And he says as he taps the hilt of his rapier.
You made a bard? Holy shit. And I'll say it's like music. I've heard that some magic can be done through music. What instrument do you play?
What instrument don't I play? Well, I currently have a lyre and a horn on me.
Oh,
But I can use most musical instruments quite well.
wonderful. I suppose I'll like nod and say, very interesting. And I'll like sort of turn to Ari and I'll say, it's like, well, I've noticed that book on your belt, so I presume that you are a wizard of some description.
Oh, are you familiar?
Ah, my sister is one.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm afraid
Uh,
I'm not much good in a fight, but I can provide some magical assistance in other ways. Prevent enemies from doing us harm and whatnot.
That should be very useful. I can't remember. When did you pick your school as a wizard?
Second.
2.
Second level. Okay, so you've already got it. And I suppose like Valerie would say, it's like, and what school do you specialize in?
Divination.
I
I'm a
know.
fortune teller.
Oh, divination, that's the really good one as well. And I'll nod and I'll say it's like, very interesting. Okay, well, seems that we have a nice cohesive party. And I'll sort of like think to myself, it's like, what do we even do now? All we got left is Blue Alley thinking about it. Oh, weren't you, Zach, didn't you leave a message at a dead drop, actually?
I did for my old smuggling contacts, the ones I left because of the drug addiction. But I have not heard back, I think, yet. Have I, Brad?
Not yet. No. You
I think
are
it's going to be a
expecting-
couple days, and it's been about a
you
day.
you're expecting it's going to take a little bit of time, but it should be relatively soon. They should get back to you, and presumably, Sheldrake, this job that he basically did for this associate of his, presumably has some sort of follow-up to it as well, although that is somewhat reliant on him.
Yes.
And then it's probably too late to go with the guard to do his thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, as well, we still have this man in the basement, so... I suppose Valerie would sort of say, it's like, well... The only job that comes to mind at the moment is going back into Blue Alley. However, I sort of, like, look back at, like, the hatch behind the bar and say, maybe it's best we wait on that for a little while yet.
We can let Bassick handle it. I don't think he is up to leaving today.
True. How long has he been down in the basement, Brad?
Been about like an hour or so at this point in time. You're not exactly sure.
It all starts at the foundation, Mistress Valerie. Give it time.
Yeah, I think as you're sort of discussing, you can hear him like kind of making his way back up the staircase to return to the main tavern room.
Okay.
Yeah, and he exits, kind of like crawling out. And you can see he's gotten himself like covered in dirt. Kind of like there's some like smudges of dirt on his like tradesman's clothes as he like climbs up out, and you see he's got this like big kind of clipboard still in his hands. And he says, there is some good news and some bad news. And He says, what would you like first?
Well, I best start with the bad. Maybe we can go out on a high note.
And he says, well, unfortunately for you, it would seem as though the current plans of the basement don't exactly match up with what they were originally. It seems as though there was some sort of rather rush job to make some hasty repairs to parts of the foundational walls, as well as, it would appear, attempts to sequester areas of the larger basement away. I'm not sure for whatever reason, but they are rather, well, how do I say, mediocre and in poor repair. They will need to be taken down and, well, either done again properly or simply returned to the normal floor plan of the basement. And he says,
I suppose Valerie would look a bit confused at that and she'll say, wait, so the cellar is actually larger than what it is?
and he says, from what I can tell, yes. There are areas that have been sealed off. I could tell that there were parts of the wall that seemed to be different in construction. The original construction, I could tell, was high quality, dwarven masterwork. And he says, whoever had this place built knew what they were doing, and probably used the guilds as you should. Whoever attempted to make these corrections obviously did not.
Fucking glass bottle flies off and hits him in the head.
I know, and I'll say, I see. Carry on, then.
And he says, I have gone ahead and made a few estimations as far as the damage is concerned and what it will take to renovate the foundational walls. And he says, and he kind of like tears off like the piece of paper and like sets it down in front of you to like read, and you can see it's like an itemized list of basically like all the little like problems and corrections that need to be made or changed basically, and then like a sum of like what each will cost in sort of like wages and materials, and basically in total, I'm actually going to basically provide you now, rather than having you like go to every guild and get a like inspection from every guild. I'm just going to give you the like upfront right now, like this is how much it's going to cost for the renovations in total, and basically like bit by bit and who you have to work with. So let me go ahead and save that and then show you. Bam. These are going to be the total costs.
I was for gold. Ah!
Plumbing, cellars, and pumps. Oh my god! I'm gonna be broke. 3K! Oh my god!
Hey guys, I know y'all just signed up, but how much y'all got on you?
Yo, plus the gold per week.
We'll worry about that later.
Worry about that later, yeah. Like I think like seeing like just his quote, which is I think what 1,500 gold basically. Like she'd be a bit taken aback. She's like, right, I see. Quite a lot of work then. What was the good news?
He says, well, the good news is that the parts of the walls that were constructed by, well, competent craftsmen are in need of little repairs and will not add an exorbitant amount to correct to this estimation. This is mostly compensating for the fact that we will have to tear down these hastily constructed walls and then perform a more thorough inspection on the areas behind them. It may
Right,
or
I
may not,
understand.
and he says the total value of the job at the end may or may not increase. This is merely an estimation. It really depends on what's behind those walls.
I understand. Well, I'll need to do some financing then. Once I do, I'll get back in contact with your guild. Is there anything else you need to make me aware of, or anything you need to ask?
And he just sort of shakes his head, and he says, I believe not. And he says, You've already paid for your inspection fees, so that is all taken care of. And he says, we have it cataloged at the guild headquarters. Should you wish to hire our services, then it shall be applied as credit to the total costs of the project.
I nod and say, very well. Thank you very much.
And he sort of nods and says, indeed, it is a pleasure doing business with you, and I hope that we will have your patronage in future.
Very good. Now, wish him good day and show him out.
Yeah, he will escort him out, and he will leave.
Alright, with the game plan, guys.
Alright, mistress, how much money do you have on you?
I've got, let's see, so platinum's 50, so I've got like 130 gold, and then like a lot of silver. I think about 26 gold worth of silver.
I have roughly about 192 gold.
Oliver goes over and like takes the piece of paper and like reads on it like, "Oh, this is a hefty sum." But
Quite.
did you not make any of these inquiries before you purchased this deed?
You did not purchase the deed.
Yes, funny thing, I wasn't actually. So, long story short, I did a job for someone, and they signed this place over to me as compensation. And I wasn't expecting to have to live here, but recently my living situation has changed quite dramatically. She kind of gets like a long gaze and quite down expression on her face. Needless to say, this is all I've got at the moment.
So it almost sounds as if you were somebody pawned this off on you to
Yeah,
lighten their own burden.
Yes, I'm beginning to feel that myself, to be honest. And she'll say, nonetheless, it is what it is. We've already got some work here done. We may as well continue. Well, I'll sort of turn to the rest of them and say, have any of you heard of Blue Alley?
I'm aware of it, yes.
Have I heard of Blue Alley?
You've probably heard rumors here and there, basically, of this this place, Blue Alley. It's basically kind of like, it's like a dungeon within the city, essentially. This like strange alleyway that some wizard like made a dungeon in, and it's known to be quite a dangerous place. Although a lot of adventuring parties go there as kind of like a first foray into adventuring without having to leave the city.
I've heard a little bit.
I nod, and I say, well, that makes this a bit easier. Some days back, or maybe a week at this point, I can't remember, Rainier put us in contact with a man called Mert Moneybags. You may have heard of him. He contracted us to go to Blue Alley and recover for him the Celestite Unicorn, I want to say?
Yes.
Sounds about right. Yes. The Celestite Unicorn that is apparently in the alleyway. Needless to say, it was quite dangerous the first time we went, and that's how Sheldrake died, but he's fine now. He got resurrected. We went for another run not long ago, but however, we found one of its traps and ended up teleported out of the place. Mert Moneybags is offering us 1,000 gold for it, so... And she kind of shrugs and says, I can't really think of any other way to make some money like that quick enough. Would you all be willing to assist us?
Aria's eyes just light up a little bit when you say the amount.
Well, I can't seem to. Did you say one of your companions died in there?
Sheldrake, yes. That was during our first foray where we were rather unprepared and foolhardy. However, we've got more, well, at least me and Sir Alamir. Me and Sir Reginald, who'll be going with you, at least have a basic understanding of what to look out for.
Very well. If you know what you're doing, I Suppose we can give it a try.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but I appreciate it.
I wouldn't even go halfway there.
Oh,
What
Christ.
about this chef of yours? Is he coming?
Crash, cursing, more crashing.
A little
I
bit
think
of
it'd be-
weeping.
Yeah, let's start crying.
He's just cutting onions. It's fine.
I think it best if we leave him the time to grieve. Him and Dricken were quite close.
This is the companion you lost?
Yes. Actually, thinking on that, maybe I'll leave a note. And I'll leave a note for Sheldrick saying, going to Blue Alley, back later, hopefully.
Oh, that's gonna be horrible for him because he doesn't know that we have 2 new companions. He probably thinks you and me just went alone.
I'll pick that out and be like, oh yeah, got 2 new companions. We'll explain when we're back. Oh, Christ. I think I'll leave that note there just so Basic doesn't get... Yeah, I think this is best. And I'll put like a glass on it so it doesn't fly away. And I'll say, Leaf, could you make sure Sheldrake sees this when he gets back? I don't know, ting the glass for a yes.
Yeah, he'll sort of just, I guess, yeah, kind of make a sound or whatever.
It throws a glass at you. I'm
throws
not
the
the fucking servant.
throws the glass at you.
That works. Alright. So, to Blue Alley! Oh, also, since Basic is not joining us, I don't know if I did it... I don't know if it was the case last session, but Zach, your axe is now +1. Or
What do
hammer.
you mean? I don't need it.
He doesn't.
I have
he
the fucking
has
book
the,
of
he has the
knowledge.
book. He's got the flail book.
Oh yes, you have the flail book.
Yeah. Can you give a +1 to my shield? Give me a +1 AC?
I could give you a +1 to your armor actually if you want that.
I don't know that, or you can give it to somebody else.
Well, the thing is, I can only do this when I finish a long rest, and these guys won't hear when I finish my long rest. Unless Brad will let me just put it on their weapon for convenience sake.
I mean, yeah, if you think that'd be best, you could do that.
Alright. I'll sort of look at Olivar and Arya and I'll say it's like, do either of you plan on using your weapon to fight?
hope not.
I certainly do.
Alright. I go up and I touch your rapier. I just give it like a quick tap, and then you see it starts glowing a little bit with magic before quickly dying away. Wait, actually, no, I'm not. I don't use magic. Sorry. I'll be like, can you give me your rapier for a second? I'll put some improvements on it.
Right. Hesitantly gives over the rapier.
Yep. Alright, Brad. I guess I just, I don't know, sharpen it, tap it with my little tinkerer's tools. I give it back to you. It's now +1. Congratulations.
It's got some like weird like fins on the handle for aerodynamics.
Yep, I like. Oh, you know what? As well, I probably like take like a bottle of like some weird gooey liquid and just like slather it all over the blade before wiping it off. It's now oiled up as well.
Oh.
Yeah, that should be a lot better for you.
Like looks at it like, oh, all right. I'll take your word for it.
Yep. And you have a +1 rapier, Mike. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. To Blue Alley.
Okay. So, you lead the group then through the city streets here in the middle of the day, and make your way over to Blue Alley. Perfect. Yeah, so you get there relatively easily. You've made your way there before many times. So you once more find yourself entering into this sort of back alley where the floor is made of these sort of like blue flagstones, and the walls have been like painted blue over the normal like stone walls of the exterior buildings. And yeah, you get to the point where you see that turn down where there's a sign that says Blue Alley, and that sort of lectern with the open book sitting in front of it. And yeah, let's return you. Boop. Welcome to Blue Alley. And you have returned.
Wonderful. So, like, I suppose as we're walking to Blue Alley as well, I'd probably give, like, Arya and Oliver, Ariadne? I was sure. The rundown. I'll be like, so, in Blue Alley, as we progress through the different rooms, we'll come across these keys that are marked to open specific doors. And we have to conquer a certain challenge, or puzzle, or beast, a lot of the time, to get this key, which will then allow us to progress on further. Be careful what you touch. And I think me and Sir Reginald will try and alert you when we come across a room that's familiar to us. Hopefully they haven't changed that much. And yeah, I suppose...
I look at Lady Valerie and like I get the feeling that she knows firsthand that you shouldn't just touch stuff for just like that.
Listen, the Cadencia sisters just have bad luck, alright? That's all it is. It's not incompetence, it's just bad luck. Alright. So I'll make my way up to the podium where the book is, and I'll say, also you have to sign in. Open up the book and sign my name.
Yeah, and you can see it's been turned over to a new blank page, and there's like a quill with a little ink pot there. And you see Valerie walks up and kind of signs her name in the book, and it kind of like glows for a moment.
time.
And then, yeah, again. So a note appears in the book, and it says, a return customer.
Yes, a return. Oh yeah, I turn back and I say, oh yes, the person that likes to run this place is not very pleasant in the slightest.
Yeah, they say they're watching us.
Making bets on our progress.
Whatever you do,
So
don't take off your clothes. I still don't believe that's a true thing.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we would have arrived naked in the middle of the yawning portal if we did that.
Why would we take off our clothes?
You don't. That's what I just said. No matter what the mouth or the wall tells you, don't do it.
Especially if the talking wall tells you.
Do you
All
make
of
a
it
habit
gets,
of listening to talking walls?
Sometimes
Oh.
I think the creator of this place likes to speak with us through his enchantments and mocks us. He did it once before.
Well, I'm filled with confidence about this. Let's go. And
Wonderful.
he goes and signs his name in the book.
All right. You sign your name in the book. It glows brightly for a moment before simmering down. I assume
You two are just like, what have I got myself into?
everybody else follows suit.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. So you all sign your names in the book and then proceed down the hallway. You get about halfway down the hallway, Valerie. There, I assume Sir Reginald's probably going to be like out in front more.
Probably.
Yep.
You get like about to the halfway point of the hallway where you know that kind of invisible wall would be had you not signed your names. And you see basically like this shimmering in the wall to the side as this like large open kind of like blue-lipped mouth appears in the wall. And you see it kind of like opens wide with this big like toothy grin. And it sort of says, I was wondering when you would be back. I had thought you had given up hope. And he says, that would be awful boring. And he says, and what's this? You have some new companions with you, too. He says, did you misplace the other ones?
I don't have time for this right now. We are beating this alley. Screw you.
And
I'll storm
you
off.
hear this you hear this chuckling, and it says, very well, let us see what you are capable of. Your configuration has been restored. Enjoy yourselves. And the mouth disappears.
What does he mean,
Who is this
configuration?
guy?
That, I think, is the creator. Ugh. I hate him. Anyway, do we have our keys back? He said our configuration's been restored. Like, did any keys come back?
I think the dungeon has been reset. That's what he meant.
You have a no. You hear like this, like sort of, ting, 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 and you see like these two keys suddenly appear like before the wall, and it's like clatter to the ground.
I ring the bell, Brad.
Oh my god, are we doing this again?
Nothing happens. You ring
Every
the bell,
minute I
nothing
ring the bell,
happens.
Brad.
Okay.
And I'll sort of turn to the rest and I'll say, well, it looks like they're not so cruel as to make us do it all over again. So I pick up the keys. Alright, let's see.
I believe it was to the. God, I don't even fucking remember. It was up to here, right? The sword, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
because
believe
in
it's to
here.
the left.
Well,
No, you guys were basically this room here. Up here was where you
Oh,
all got
yes.
teleported out of.
Where?
Yes.
What?
Over here.
Ah, yes. I just don't remember how to get there.
No,
it was to
remember,
the.
this is a hidden wall, remember?
Oh, that's right.
with the lantern.
hmm
Do we have the lantern?
I'm sure somebody could have grabbed it from Jeldrake.
So Reginald,
point.
you are now Lantern Man.
Ooh, I'm Bell and Lantern Man.
Damn.
Well, the
Yeah.
bell
So
seems
you guys, you see him like ring a bell and like nothing happens, and you begin like making your way into the dungeon. He like kind of like holds up this this colorful like rainbow patterned lantern basically as he lights it, and it like reveals this door in the wall, which you open up and like one by one make your way through and proceed through the dungeon and it kind of takes a little bit of time. You're being very cautious, kind of like making sure to like follow every step. So about 5 minutes like passes. You're getting to this point in the room, and then all of a sudden you hear a loud ding 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 like ringing through the room that you're currently in.
So Reginald, you keep having to ring that bell. We already know what it does.
But do you think it's not going to be useful at some point?
I suppose. As we make our way into this room, though, I remember the statue. We never really did
Yes.
figure out what.
Yes, there is a statue there.
Yeah, we never did quite figure out if this had any purpose or meaning behind it. I can't remember if I just rolled bad or not, but I'll look
I
back.
mean, there was some words on it, right?
Yeah. I sort of like look back to like Arya, and I'll say, Arya, you're a magically inclined individual, and I'll gesture into this room, and it's like this statue over here. I think is of a wizard. We never really were able to determine its purpose or meaning. Perhaps you'd have better luck than us.
I suppose I can take a look. Take a look.
Sure, yeah. To give a brief description of the room again, you see there's like this 5 foot wide, like 15-foot long hallway basically, but it's like a room. And there is a on one side of it a solid bronze statue of a wizard. And you can see there's a plaque at the base of the statue with the wizard's name on it, Kalier. You can see as you're like entering into the room, the statue's eyes almost like seem to like follow your paces through the room. And you notice lying on the floor, kind of scattered around, there are several broken vials. And then there's some phrases on the wall to the left, scrawled in common, and it says "utter madness, pure rubbish."
I say we break the statue.
There's a wall in the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you proceeding into the room, if you like going up to like examine the statue or like get closer to the statue, you realize
Yeah.
there appears to be some sort of impediment in the way, some sort of like invisible wall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, tell us, what are we looking for in here? I know you said something about the statue, but
Yes.
what
the
have you
cells
discovered
like-
so far?
Well, what we've discovered so far is that this place does have a lot of riches, although none of them are given up so easily and freely. Although other than that, not a whole lot. I mean, we know the person that runs this place definitely watches us.
It's mainly been a standard crawl through the dungeon, finding one key and then the next, opening the next door and the next,
Since I
until we
think,
hopefully find what we're looking for.
I'll also post this here from Thor's notes, because he was kind of the one keeping track of it. You have encountered throughout this dungeon some strange phrases scrawled upon the wall in sort of capital letters every so often. Basically, these are the 5, I believe, that you have seen so far.
Oh yeah, I suppose Larry would also regale that. And so, oh yes, Sheldrake was also taking these notes. And it's like, every now and then we come across these capitalized messages on the walls. I have a feeling this is probably important, but... And she's
We've
like...
yet to really figure out how or why.
Yeah. Larry just kind of looks back down where Arya is with the statue and says, I feel like this has got to mean something. Or if it was just put there to throw us off.
I'm afraid it doesn't mean much to me.
Yeah, the wizard's name isn't familiar. Actually, make a history check maybe.
Yes.
20. That's pretty good. I think like the name is familiar to you. In sort of like reference to like old wizards of Waterdeep from like a long time ago, basically. You as part of your studies, you learned some like the history of kind of like magic and wizards in Waterdeep, and like the name seems familiar to you, although you can't remember or make any connections to any sort of like importance insofar as like would be deserving of having a statue erected of this person.
I've seen the name before, but I couldn't tell you why. Why there'd be a statue with his name on it.
This person not noteworthy or anything?
I mean, they were noteworthy enough to have their name in a book about it. I couldn't tell you anything they did.
I guess the statue will just be a mystery then. But thank you for trying, nonetheless. Alright. I guess let's continue on.
I continue leading the way.
Yep. Alright, let's go back to the treasure room. I don't think we actually got a good look before we got
Is this
teleported
stair still
out.
fucked up? With the tar and stuff?
No,
Or whatever it
that
was?
that is gone.
Okay.
Any sign of those creatures is gone.
Do not take any money from this place.
Very heavy.
It will curse you.
Yeah,
Praise
don't
God,
warning.
this is...
They're going into a room just like full of stacks of like gold and silver and copper coins. Just so much money.
Yep. You still need to do that community service, Sir Reginald.
I will never do it.
Oh Christ.
I guess so. What is your intention here? You just gonna look around this room, or?
Well, I want to make my way back into the room where we got like teleported out, but not touch the bars.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you make your way back into that room. You can see it's basically the same as when you left it. The gem is now nowhere to be seen. However, it's not lying on the floor or anything like that.
Where is that fucking? Where did we get that gem again?
We got it from the sword, didn't we?
Hmm?
The sword that we destroyed, was it? Or was it something else?
Well, the sword attacked you when you picked it up on the pedestal back in.
Yeah, but it was in the room with the sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the gem is gone as well. Blast. Was it that gem? What was that gem used for again, Zach? Do you remember?
We didn't figure it out.
Yes.
I believe it had something about showing the way or something on it.
Yeah. Like that. I would look around and say, it doesn't look like the gem is still here. Unless you have to go back and get it. Are there any, like... Actually, yeah, in this room, are there any, like, hidden like, fake walls or anything? Not touching the bars?
If you want to spend some time looking around, you can make an investigation check.
I shall. I'll say to the rest, and I'll say it's like, this place does have fake walls and hidden doorways, so also keep an eye out.
Yeah, and so as Valerie begins like kind of examining the walls, every minute on the dot, everybody hears the sound of like a bell like ringing.
What is that?
I don't know. What is it? I ring the bell again.
And then, there's this ringing of the bell. It stops, and he pulls out the bell and just, like, swings it a couple of times, and it makes no noise.
It's obviously not that bell.
It's a bell that we found earlier in the dungeon last we were here. Every time I ring it, nothing happens, and then a minute later, it rings.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes later, it rings.
Very useful.
Could be useless, could be used for something. I don't know.
So you perform a thorough investigation of the room and find that there is nothing that you have that you have not yet uncovered in this room.
What are the words on the wall again?
There are no words in the wall on that room.
Was it not? This
No.
is the room with the bars that I touched that
Mm-hmm.
transported us to the other place, right?
Yep.
I thought there was something about us taking off our clothes to do it or something.
No, so there's no words written, but there was, like, the first time you touched the bars, or the first time somebody touched the bars that didn't have the gem, there was, like, a mouth opened and basically, like, intoned, like, a series of phrases.
Oh, I mean, I'll try to recreate then. I don't have the gem. I'll touch the bars.
Sure. As you touch the bars, you see a mouth materializes in the ceiling and intones in this sort of like a monotone voice. It says, "Beyond these gates lies paradise. Enter them as you entered life, and you may yet find it. Grasp the jewel and grasp the iron, then be whisked away to the truest of rewards."
There you go. And then the gem is in the room with the sword that we destroyed. We'll have to go back and get that if we want to try it. And then if anyone really wants to try to get naked, because that's the best we can get from that phrase, is that you came into the world naked, you gotta go through the gate naked.
I'll
And
pass.
it takes you to paradise.
Whatever that is. But if you're wearing clothes, it takes you to the Yawning Portal Tavern. And I'm pretty sure that even if I'm naked, it's going to take me there anyway.
Well,
I saw Morton typing temporarily, and now he's stopped.
Let's carry on, shall we?
Anyways, yes. Where would you like to go next?
Was there anything
There are-
like else down this
I
corridor?
mean, yeah, there's a door at the end you haven't explored. There's 2 doors on the left that you haven't explored, and there's a door on the right that you haven't explored.
I see. So, Reginald, do you wish to take up and check the door to the right?
Yes, I will. I'll walk up to the door on the right, Brad.
Sure thing. What would you like to do when you walk up to the door?
I would like to test to see if it opens, and if it is, I'm going to open it.
Yes, it is unlocked, and so easily opens. And as it swings open, you have the lantern. Do you still have it lit?
I mean, it has a time limit on it, right? Before we get it refilled up with oil?
Yeah, so it's like you've got to have like the oil for it. So like you can only burn it so long.
Like, I don't have any oil.
neither do I.
So I don't think I do martial attack techniques healing. Yeah, I don't. So I would not have it on at the moment.
Okay. So as you open this room, you can see it is dark inside. There's no light or anything like that. And you can see basically that you can make out like murals on the wall, although you don't have because it's dark and you're relying on your dark vision looking into this room. You don't see like color or anything like that, so you just like see like this grayscale kind of mural along the wall. And you can see that the room has a number of like a tiled floor. And you can see that the northeast south. You can. That is what you see looking into the room.
All right. I don't have any torches or anything.
Allow
Does anyone
me.
else? There you go.
And then whoever's leading, I'll like touch whatever weapon they have, cast light on.
Now I have a glowing book on a chain.
Yes, to be noted that Sir Reginald is currently carrying around what appears to be a length of chain with a heavy iron-covered book on the end of it.
Interesting. I love. I'm there for it.
Yeah, so as you cast the spell, it begins to illuminate, light pouring into the room, and you notice that the floor tiles, some of them are discolored. There are some that are kind of like regular stone colors, but others have been painted gold, a fact you would not recognize had you been purely relying on dark vision.
Okay.
There seems to be like a winding path that kind of cuts through the room.
Follows the gold path or the regular stone path?
Let me reveal.
So I'm assuming the entrance then is right here.
Yes. It is
Alright.
directly across from the other door that you can see.
So I suppose we follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, and I guess as you're making your way in, are any of you proficient in religion at all?
I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a religion?
Are any of you proficient in Arcana?
Yes.
Yes.
What's Arcana?
Those of you who are, as you're like entering into the room, I assume, and like seeing these murals, those of you who are proficient in Arcana can go ahead and make an Arcana check with disadvantage.
Woohoo! Hell
Okay.
yeah, 17.
17. Okay, so you both recognize some aspects of these murals. There appears to be basically like some sort of like funeral rites going on or something on the walls. You don't recognize the iconography in particular of like the priests or anything like that, but you do notice, both notice, that there are what appear to be like robed figures that are clasping in their hands holy symbols of the goddess Mistra, who is the goddess of magic in this realm and kind of oversees the weave that powers all spells. So with your Arcana, you would kind of recognize that kind of, it's not like this tangential religious information that you gleaned from your own sort of like arcane studies.
So funeral rites, okay.
Yeah, although you do not recognize the significance of the funeral rites, and you do not recognize the other participants that seem to be the main participants. Like there's like a figure like this helmeted, like knightly looking figure at the head grasping this holy symbol that you don't quite recognize.
Well, this definitely looks like some sort of funeral service, although I can't attest to any of the significance to the figures in the murals.
So should we just follow the golden road, I'm assuming then?
I take it there's a door over there, right, Brad?
Yeah, in the northern wall where the path terminates.
Yes, let's see what
Okay.
happens.
Just let me go first.
Lead the
Of
way.
course.
Isn't this? It can't be that straightforward, can it?
Probably not.
So Brad, I'll start walking around that yellow road.
Okay. You begin
With,
carefully kind of like stepping and
yes, I'm
following
dorky.
the the yellow brick road around the room. You're all kind of like waiting at the entrance maybe to like see what happens.
Yep.
You get
Guinea
like
pig.
halfway through the path where it begins to turn back, and then as you turn back, you notice like the mural continues around like the wall, and you notice on the wall above the door, there is something written in all capital letters in common above the doorway,
You fool!
and it simply says "Get through."
All right,
This
I'll
tool
say that to
with-
them.
This tool with a soft touch can do what might and strength cannot get through.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Keep
Yeah.
going, Sir Reginald.
I nod, and then I'll, keep walking just towards the end. I don't know if anything happens before I get there.
No, nothing seems to occur as you follow the path around and end up at a doorway.
Is it locked?
I try the handle and open it
Uh,
up.
It does not appear to be locked, and in fact opens up. And as it does so, you are momentarily blinded as your light pours into this room, and then basically it almost seems like You know that effect you get where like the sun is high in the sky and you're like looking at a shiny like silver car and like the light is just
yeah.
blasting in your eyes. It's like that when you enter into the room. But as you adjust, you realize basically that and you kind of like cover the light instinctively. You realize that all of the walls, like floor and ceiling of this room, appear to be constructed entirely of reflective material. And you see in the center of the room, there is what appears to be a 3-foot tall statue of a rearing unicorn.
I shout that back at everybody. You know, I'm just shouting my progress of what I see and everything. Is there a... What are we wanting in here, by the way? Is a pendant, right? Of a unicorn?
He said the Celestite unicorn.
What the fuck is celestite, Brad?
It's like a mineral.
Is that thing made of celestite?
You're a dwarf. You can go ahead and use your stone cunning to make a history check with advantage.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the train is coming
I mean,
through.
I have
them, by the way.
advantage on. No, I mean, I get it with advantage, but it's just normal history roll, right?
I think, yeah. I guess. Do you get? I think you like technically get expertise with it. Is that how the stone cunning works?
Hold on, I have it.
Yeah,
I
just
think.
ping it.
Is that the one racial thing I didn't add? Really?
Wait,
no, there it is.
No, there it is. Whenever you make an intelligence check, you are considered proficient and double your proficiency bonus. So basically, you get expertise
So I get +4
on your history check. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna roll it twice, and then we can just add +4 to it.
I'll say not with advantage because I thought that's what it did, but instead it gives you the expertise on it. So
22.
Okay, 22. Yeah, so looking at it, it's hard from just like looking from the entrance of the room. But from what you can tell, it does appear to be made like carved from celestite.
How big is it? It's big, right?
It's like 3 foot tall. Like it's a big statue.
Okay, but 3 foot tall, so it's about my
Yeah, it's
height.
not like it's not
But it's not like
life-sized.
huge.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's not life size. It's maybe about like half scale. But it's still like medium size basically. Like it's still as big as you are.
I think we may have found the celestite statue. It's a bit bigger than I thought it would be.
Yes, it's bigger than I thought it would be too. I take it we like step into the shiny room, right?
Yeah, I'll step
If you want
into
to.
it if they're coming around.
Sure thing.
Yeah. So I'll look around. Like, this whole room is it made of shiny mineral?
Or is
It
mirror?
seems from what you could tell, it seems as though like the room is actually like seamless. It kind of gives this like weird effect because you don't really like see like the corners and stuff where walls and floors like should meet up. It just looks as though you're like on the inside of like a single like mirror that has been like shaped into a room.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is it like floor and ceiling as well, right?
Floor, ceiling, walls, everything.
Okay. I'm gonna
Let
go
me
up to
just
the.
You can
I
even
feel
see
the
that like
surface.
the back of the door is also like covered in this like same mirror like substance. Feeling it, it's like cold to the touch, like if you were touching like a steel mirror or whatever. It's like slightly colder than ambient room temperature.
So what happens if I go up to the statue and touch it? Oh, I'm sorry, Mick. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this is quite disorienting.
Yeah, and you
A
can
little
all
bit,
see
yeah.
like infinite reflections of yourself like all around too. Just like looking at the walls or anything like that just immediately kind of like begins to give you a headache. As
Keep your eyes on the statue.
yeah, so walking up Sir Reginald and touching the statue, nothing seems to happen.
What if I try to move it and lift it?
It doesn't seem to be like fixed to the ground, so like it does like budge. It's heavy, but you can move it.
Could I lift it?
What's your carrying capacity? Like, what's your max lift?
Good question. Does it calculate in this for me? I don't think it does.
Don't think it does on this sheet, but it would be just your strength. I think max lift with like being able to move 5 feet at a time is like strength times 30.
Strength times 30, so 14 times 30. Or is it modifier times 30?
No, it's
Sir
strength.
Reginald,
It's
I
just
think
the
I might be
score,
able
not the
to-
modifier?
Yeah, just the score for carrying capacity. If it was
14.
modifier, you wouldn't be able to pick up anything.
Yeah, 14 times 30 then. Which...
mean, I think like what Mike was going to say. We also have a Goliath.
Oh yeah, that's right.
True.
420.
It's pushing it. It's like a super struggle because it's made of stone, right? So it's like it's heavy, despite like not being that big. So it's like a struggle, but you can barely kind of like lift and like at crawling speed, kind of like carry it along.
All right,
I'll
Oliver.
just go on the other side and
Yeah.
help him lift it.
Very well.
Where do I see my capacity?
It's not on there. I just had to do the math.
Yeah, it's not on there.
It's strength multiplied by 30.
Yeah, so for you, like
Oh.
your normal, you have like the powerful build that like doubles everything. So like
Yeah.
your normally it would be times 15 for max like carry, and then like times 30 for max like drag. Then you just double everything. So you would do like times 30 times 60.
Okay. Well, I only have +1 strength, though.
Yeah, but it goes off
But
of it goes off of the stat, not the modifier.
Oh, so
So-
12.
Yeah, it's 12 times 30 or 12 times 60. Yeah, so you could easily like lift it by yourself, basically.
I'll just help him lift it so it doesn't feel.
Yeah. Yeah, between
Bad
the two of
about
You
you,
can take it.
you can carry it.
Alright.
Well, I mean, even him is like it's still like it's still gonna slow him down a bit, just not nearly as much as it would you.
All right, we'll double it then, so we can maybe hopefully move at a normal speed.
Yeah.
Mhm. I suppose while we're doing that, I would like to just have a look and investigate this room, see if there's any hidden walls and bullshit like that, or if this is some sort of like fake statue.
Sure, yeah, you can make an investigation check, but it will be a disadvantage just due to the difficulty of like perceiving things with
Can I
the
help?
mirror.
Oh!
Yeah,
Too
you can.
late.
You can. Yeah, I guess a little bit too late. He clicked the roll immediately.
Sorry, I didn't wait.
Doesn't matter. 25 is still pretty good. As far as you can tell, there does not appear to be any sort of secret gaps or anything along this like mirrored surface.
Fair enough. Well, I think Valerie after that would be like, okay, let's carefully take this unicorn statue along the path and into the hallway, shall we?
Yes, it's original on 3. Do 1, 2, 3, and then hoist it up and
Okay.
start walking.
All right. So, I guess Arya, you're exiting from the room first. It looks like.
Yeah.
Whoops, that's a bad choice.
You all see, like, as Sir Reginald and Oliver are like picking up the statue, Arya begins to turn and exit the room. You all see she walks out of the room, and then there's a flash of light, and then suddenly, Oliver and Reginald, a bunch of just like things rain on top of you. I guess whatever sort of like outerwear Arya is wearing, as well as like anything visible that she's carrying on her, just sort of appear in the air and like clatter to the ground, like slamming into you.
What Arya wears?
Yeah, like anything that's like visible.
What?
What do you mean? So Arya's naked now?
I mean, I assume she has something underneath her clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, wonderful.
Arya, what are you doing?
Why are you throwing stuff
Put your
at
gear
us?
back on!
I'll just walk over and
Because
grab
it's very
everything
obvious
back
to you that there is some sort of strange, like, magical enchantment that
Okay,
is going on.
so it got stuck in the doorway, and like she kept walking in
No,
the gear.
like she walked through the doorway and it literally teleported above you and fell on your heads.
Oh. Huh.
I hate this place.
quickly redress.
What was that
Person who made
quote
this
about?
place is- Ridiculous.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to help if you want to leave. What happens if I like just take off like I don't know a pouch I'm wearing? That's something that would have fallen off of her and just throw that through. Does it fall through again? And
Where
I,
you're
like,
just,
toss it through the
throwing
door.
it through the door.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I'll let Oliver carry the thing for a second, or I just put it down for the time being. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
I'm back.
Welcome back. Arya was stripped naked.
Yeah, so you
What?
throw
Not
not completely. You throw the pouch like through the door and it like lands on the floor on the other side.
All right, safely doesn't come back.
No.
What if I just stick my foot through?
I guess like you're probably wearing like a boot or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as your foot like sticks through, your boot just like disappears and like clatters into the floor in the center of the room.
All right. I will
Wait,
go
what?
back, pick up my boot.
What's happening?
When Arya left the door or the room, all her like outer belongings was teleported from her body to above us and fell down on top of us.
What the hell is with this stupid place?
Does it make you completely naked?
No, well, I mean, other than like your undergarments, I guess.
Only if you go commando.
Oh, right.
So,
Monka S.
I'll follow Sir Reginald's lead, and I'll take off my boot and throw the boot out the door.
Yeah, like tossing the boot out on its own, like it just seems to fly through the door and like clatter into the room beyond.
All right, I guess we have to go out piece by piece.
Are we seriously doing this?
I think we have to.
I mean, does anyone have any qualms about... Well, the thing is, if we want to go out without... If we just go out with... Yeah, we gotta strip naked. Does anyone have any qualms against stripping naked?
Well,
You
it's
can
not
all-
naked. You can wear underwear.
Val would be like, nonetheless, I'll go last. When you're all in the hallway.
Let's go one at a time, so that nothing happens with the.
Everyone going to be
statue.
closing their eyes.
Yeah, sure.
Valerie
Everyone turn
definitely
around.
is.
All right, Olivar and not Sheldrick, but and Sir Reginald will close their eyes.
Okay.
Arya will walk through. Valerie will throw her clothes, and then we'll just kind of do that kind of thing, I guess.
Okay, so Sir Reginald and
You can go
Oliver
first, dear.
are closing their
Okay.
eyes. All right.
Valerie's
I mean-
going first.
Sure.
So I guess you'll like, do that whole thing. You could just throw it so it just lands like just outside the door, I guess.
I mean, you can bundle it up and like throw it or whatever, but I think Arya's saying you go first.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like, so Valerie will strip down to her undergarments.
That's
And then, like-
it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
Sorry?
the thing is that it's taken anything
Yeah.
that's like visible on you at the moment. So if you just walk through now, you'll only lose like your outer clothes.
Oh,
You'll still have
so
the
you
underclothes.
Oh right, sorry. So, I
So
should
you
just
walk through, dress back up
Okay,
right
that makes
outside
sense.
real
Sorry,
fast. Just don't think about all the people who could be watching you. This is Blue Alley after all.
Shut
You
up,
just
Sir
had to
Reginald.
say that, didn't you?
All right. Yeah. So stepping through the door, Valerie. Let me see here. You. What do you got? You actually wear armor, right? Like you have armor that you wear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like your armor basically, and any like outer visible things that you carry, like a backpack or maybe like a pouch or anything like that. Anything like outer visible on you disappears as you step through the doorway, but you still have anything that was on underneath it.
Right.
Is it gonna take the goddamn statue?
We're not wearing the statue, so it shouldn't.
I hope.
Just pass the statue through the door for the person on the other side. Easy.
Yeah, when the ladies have done their thing,
Yep.
I'll put the statue down, and Sir Reginald will go through. I'll toss out his armor and stuff, and then I'll This is a quandary.
Listen, Valerie
As there-
gets through. Okay.
As there's not going to be a person left in the room to throw the stuff back out once the last person has gone through.
Well, that just means someone has to strip naked
One
and
person's
go in
gonna
and
have to
grab
take
everything.
everything off.
Oh.
Mhm.
Well, I don't have any
But don't
underwear
worry,
anyway,
the
so
room's
I can do
dark.
it.
Well, so Valerie gets magically stripped down to her undergarments. is super embarrassed.
No, you
but,
still have your
quickly-
regular clothes because you have armor on over them.
Oh, right, yes, true. I'm an idiot. Awesome. Even better. Alright, how long does it take to don medium armor?
I think it's 5 minutes? 5 or 10 minutes?
I start donning.
Yeah,
I'll
putting
walk
on
down
the
the path a little bit.
process.
Sergeant always goes commando. Oh god.
Yeah.
You fuck. It's a dwarven tradition.
That's how we do it
Yeah.
in the mountains of home.
That's I like that. We have the same in the mountain tribes for Goliaths.
Must be a mountain thing.
So
Yeah.
you said, Arya, are you going through and somebody like tossing
Yeah,
your
I'll
things
just
to you? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Toss the things.
And then Reginald goes through. I'll toss him his things. And I guess I strip.
Do you want
All
to
the way
like
down.
stick the statue halfway through, just so the
Yeah,
chances
I'll
are?
just yeah, sure. I'll push the statue like in between the door, like so it's.
Yeah, and then I'll pull it the rest of the way out.
And I'll throw out all my stuff. Go commando.
Okay. So Reginald goes through. So yeah, you're pushing the statue like halfway out, and then Reginald's pulling from the other side, pulling it out.
That's the idea, I think.
Maybe we should wait and I can push it out with me so that it doesn't. Nothing happens if I. So I don't get locked in here.
I mean, if you want, I'm worried that it's going to count as being on you, like a backpack would. But we can try it.
Yes, otherwise I can just go back in and get it, since I'm already naked.
Well, it fell from the sky. I'm worried it's going to break the statue over anything.
True. Anyway, I'll You can pull it through then first, and we'll see what happens.
We will pull it through.
Okay. So Olivar pushes it still from within the room, partway through, and then you grab it from the other side, pulling it through, and you seem to be able to successfully pull it out of the room.
Hell yeah.
And I'll walk my naked ass out and put on my gear.
If it was the guy or someone else that designed that room, they are a pervert.
Yep. I show my ass to the wall and like, take a picture, it'll last longer.
Teach them.
Make an engraving.
And I'm not wearing armor, so I'll just put on my clothes.
Little do you know, there probably was a better way to go about doing that, but you did it. You figured out a solution that works. Congratulations.
That's all that matters.
Right,
So we
so you're
successfully
now, like,
extract the Celestite
dragging
unicorn.
this heavy unicorn around with you, kind of the two of you together.
So, assuming we have what we've come to achieve, is there any reason for us to look at the other doors? Because I know there's still several rooms we have yet to get in, like the one that has the hanging sword and all the other stuff.
Well, like I said, the rumors of this place is that it does hold a lot of treasure. And she kind of like, thinks like where does Moneybags live?
He lives in the Seaward. He told you kind of where his
It's like on the other side of town, isn't it?
It's like kind of like the it's also kind of to the north of the city. There's two wards in the north of the city. There's the North Ward and the Sea Ward, and both are kind of like higher end like places basically. Like there are nobility scattered between both of them.
Yeah. Well, I think Valley would say it's like, though, since we've already recovered what we came here to get, at least I presume this is what it is, I can't imagine there'd be some other form of Celestite unicorn kicking about that he was actually meaning. I don't know how we feel about lugging this around as we continue to explore.
I think between me and Olivar here, we can manage it, but...
I think it'd be best then to maybe keep looking, at least for the time being.
How greedy do we want to be?
Greed last time did end up getting Sheldrake killed.
1,000 gold.
How much is he offering us, by the way?
He's giving you
1,000.
1,000 for this job.
Oh, so it doesn't even, we're still gonna need more money after this.
Yeah. Like Valerie's sort of thinking it as well. So at least let's look in these other few rooms. There might be something of note. Maybe we can just, I don't know, leave the unicorn here in the hallway for now.
What's the worst that happened?
Don't say that.
Worst is we might have to just do it again, but
Well, Sir Reginald, let's leave the Celestite unicorn here for now and see what's through this door.
Click.
Okay, it is unlocked. You see that it opens into a chamber that is lined with red clay bricks. At the far end, you see what appears to be a circular pit, diameter of 8 foot. There is a immediate sort of like hot, humid air that pours out of the room as you open the door, and there is a fiery red glow from the pit on the other side.
I'll take a step in.
Yeah, it is sweltering in this room, and there's
Like,
the
in the
smell of
pit,
the
in
smell
the-
of ash.
Like a hole in the ground.
Yeah, there's like a hole in the ground. There's light pouring out of it, and it is just hot.
I just peek over the pit.
Okay, peeking over the pit, you see it's about 40 feet deep, and there is just like flames basically at the bottom of it. You see two small, vaguely humanoid shaped figures amidst what appear to be piles of ashes. Both these figures they have sort of like dark red skin with kind of like cracks of orange light seeping through, and they basically have like flames in their hands and kind of like on their head where their hair would be, and they sort of like look up at you as you're kind of like peering into the pit, and you see their eyes are like glowing yellow, and they give this like wide smile.
I'm gonna take a step
Can
back.
you make a perception check?
Ah, yes, I can.
we just encounter. Did we just come across the bowels of hell?
That's what I was thinking. 12.
A 12.
See
That
nothing.
that is actually enough. You notice that in the amidst the ashes, there is glittering of like metals, basically, that seem to have been they're melted down from the heat, and kind of like coagulated into mounds. But there is sort of what appears to be like slag, basically, of various different like metals amidst the ashes down below. It is
Alright.
unsure how much or what their total value would be.
I'll just kind of like step back out away from the pit a little bit, and I'll explain what I just saw to them. That I saw the pits of hell. And does anyone know what those things are?
Anyone who's trained in Arcana can make an Arcana check.
I do not. I have no idea.
Also, does that seem survivable down there? I didn't think so.
I mean, it was hot. It would hurt.
Oh yeah, we got the same roll. Hell yeah.
Both of you recognize from his brief description of the creature, it is an elemental creature known as a magmin. They are basically like these weird sort of like imp-like things from the plane of fire, that like to burn things and are very hot to the touch, and I think explode in lava when they die. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I do think that they explode when they die.
Well, Valerie would be like, well, I mean, the gold sounds appealing. The 40 feet into fire doesn't, though.
And
I think we should skip this one. To be fair.
Agreed, we
I
have
will
no
say,
way to get back up as far as I'm aware.
as far as both of you know, magmins do not possess any sort of preternatural ability to scale walls, and nor do they have any sort of ranged capabilities. Like they're not known to like throw flames.
No writing in the walls of this room or anything?
No, other than that, it just appears to be some red clay bricks.
Okay. Interesting. Well, yeah, Valerie would be like, yeah, let's just see what's through this door.
Excuse me.
Close this door.
There's one more door here and then one more door there.
Oh, right.
Door here.
This one, yes.
It's gonna be the ice version of the pit.
The ice version of the pit.
The ice hole now?
Fucking Frostfire Peaks, baby.
Which one is this? This is 27? Yeesh. Alright, opening that door, you see it opens into a large room that is filled with rows of workbenches, all of them covered in the detritus of experiments long finished. There are a number of scorch marks dotting the scene, and the stench of fire and acid assail your senses as you open the door. Beakers, vials, and buckets of unidentifiable arcane goo can be seen all around.
I think this is more up in your all's forte, ladies. I'll just take a step in and open the door and step to the side. I'm like, I don't know what this shit is.
Hell yeah. I want to investigate all this shit, Brad.
Sure thing. I will note, basically, as you're entering into the room, is basically packed with, like, beakers and vials of all sorts. Valerie, you're somewhat of a dabbling alchemist, given your specialty as an artificer. You would recognize some, basically, at sight as being highly volatile and dangerous should they basically come into contact with, like, the air, essentially. So you'll have to be very careful making your way through this room. It is basically, like, difficult terrain to avoid knocking over any of these volatile reagents.
Yeah, I would relay the message. It's like, be very careful moving through and do not knock anything.
Go ahead and make an investigation check to look over the room. If Aria would like to assist, yeah, you
Can I help?
I will give. Can I give one of them assistance?
One thing
We don't have
about
to assist
James
each other?
is that he just hits rolls.
Can I
He never
assist one of them
waits.
so they don't have to assist each other, Brad?
Sure, yeah. If Aria wants to roll, and you can assist her. Seeing as
God
James never
fucking
wants
damn
to
it.
wait for anyone else to declare their intent to help him or anything.
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
Okay. So an 11. Valerie.
God damn it!
Didn't need advantage. Okay, there we go. 18.
Valerie, you don't really find anything too, like, crazy. Arya, you notice, scanning through things, that you find what appears to be this sort of strange looking, like, large beaker, like this extra large vial that is filled with a crimson liquid that you would recognize as a potion of healing. Although it appears as though somebody has taken, like, the normal contents of 2 potions and kind of poured them into one vial. So it is 2 potions of healing have been mixed together in a vial, which may or may not produce some unexpected results.
Oh, nice. Add it to your character sheet. Potion of healing, question mark?
If you would like to make an Arcana check to see if you can discern what sort of modifications it may have, you are welcome to do so.
I will assist her.
Okay.
Okay,
Woo!
20. That will reveal
Pog.
the results. Let me go to this table that I totally recognize where it is and remember exactly that is on this page, that is right here.
Oh, that page. I
Yes.
figured it'd be that one.
Yes. Where the fuck is it? If only I owned the DMG on Roll20 so I could just Google it into the thing. I think it's right before the magic items. Yeah, there it is. Can you roll for me a D100? $66. According to your studies, investigating the potion, kind of like giving it a bit of a taste test, it would appear as though whoever mixed these potions got rather lucky, as they do not appear to have suffered from any sort of strange side effects and will both function normally, should it be consumed. So you drink this and it will be 2 potions of healing at once.
Right.
Which one of you is most likely to need a healing potion?
It's Reginald.
I think no, I don't have one. Who got a Dricken's healing potion, by the way?
You did.
Oh, okay. I already have a healing potion at the moment. But
Maybe you can hang on to it.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't intend to take any hits. Can't
I
foresee
think the only other
everything.
person who would be in front would be Olivar.
Yes, but it might
Our
be
luck-
good if somebody else has one, in case either you or me are incapable of drinking our own.
hmm And our luck as of late has made it that our intent to not get hit has not gone as planned. So, Brad, in this room, is there anything like, I don't know, a big bucket of water? Or the ability to make some sort of frost compound?
Not
for this-
so far as you can tell, really. Most of these seem to be like the experiments that have already been like concluded and kind of like left there. There's not a whole lot in the way of like raw materials.
Fair enough. Well, I think with that, Val, I would say it doesn't look like there's much else here. Should we proceed on to the next room?
I would also like to remind people that we do have a lantern of revealing if anyone would like to give it a try in any rooms.
That is true. How much, is it just normal lantern oil you need?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking we could, if nothing is of note in these last two rooms, we may as well just leave, and you can get more oil that way. Why don't you give this room a quick scan, just to be sure?
Okay. I'll give it a quick scan, Brad.
Okay, you ignite
What do
it.
my lantern eyes see?
Yeah, you ignite the lantern. It projects its sort of strange swirling rainbow light throughout the room. You give it a quick sweep over, and do not see any discernible difference in the contents of the room.
Alright, shut it off.
Alright. Alright, let's move into this room then. It's above Olivar.
Okay.
Open the door.
You open the door, and you see this chamber is by far the largest of any of the chambers that you've seen so far. You see, basically,
We're here now.
No, we're finally hit this point.
it is a chamber lined with red clay bricks. There are 7 circular metal platforms, each about 6 feet in diameter, hanging from great iron chains attached to the ceiling. The floor, down below you, appears to be covered in some sort of thick blanket of smoke, and you cannot actually gauge how far down it is. And you can see between each of these discs, there's about like 10 to 15 feet gap, and they seem to be sort of like steadily increasing like in height, right? So like the one near you is like the lowest, and then they go like up and up and up and up, winding around. And then in the far one, you can see there is a chain sort of dangling from it with a long sword kind of tied to it. This is on the bottom of the final platform.
I think Valerie would see this and be like, maybe we should come back here with rope and grappling hooks. Or maybe even the ability to fly.
Yeah, looking at the room, like rope and grappling hooks aren't really going to avail you much because there's not really much of a place to attach said things.
Well, you know what? I don't want to tangle with this.
But for what it's worth, the jumps don't appear to be like particularly hard, really.
That's what I'm looking at as well, yeah, like...
Oliver
looks
tries
like-
to jump to the first platform.
Oh god.
What's your athletics like, dude?
Pretty good. Ish.
Alright, Brad, give him another backup sheet. Oliver just falls into
So
the smoke.
an athletics check.
Yeah, if you want to make the jump across to the first disc, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oliver falls into the smoke.
Wait, how far was the first one?
It
What's the
is
distance?
it is 15 feet, I believe.
Wait,
because
15 feet?
Yeah, because it's like also it's distance, but it's also up, so it's like a 50-foot jump in total. You have to make the check, basically.
Oh,
Can I catch him?
I guess you could try to make a dexterity.
Because I'm assuming
check.
he fell, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a failure. he falls a little bit short.
A dexterity check?
Yeah.
I will use my portent to give him an 18.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Wait,
you.
you get the jump in 18 or the catch in 18?
The catch.
The catch.
I had to do it
he has
before the roll, so
he
I
had
had
to
to
do
make
it
sure I
before
did
the
it
roll,
before
yeah.
someone rolled it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So with an 18, you sort of Arya. There's this like flash basically as you like recall this scene playing out through your divinations early in the morning, and you basically like shout out to Reginald to like reach his hand in this specific spot, and he does so following his instructions, grabbing Olivar just before he plummets into the smoke down below, and he's now like kind of like dangling. You're like half over the ledge, and he's like dangling by one arm like into over the pit below.
Go to help! Go to help!
Can I
Come on,
see
big
anything
guy.
down the pit when I'm closer to it?
No, it's still just this rolling cloud of smoke that seems to cover the bottom of the floor.
God.
Alright. I will shimmy my way up to the and climb up again on Sir Reginald's arm.
Arya might have just legit saved you. So hard.
Yeah, I totally misheard the distance and stuff.
So
you're not actually sure of the distance. It's like about 10 feet to like the top of the cloud cover, and then after that, you're like, it could be bottomless for all you know.
What if I like yeet just a single copper coin into there?
Into the pit?
Yeah, I'm gonna yeet it in the just drop it not yeet it all the way across the room, but like just drop it right in front of me.
Okay.
Down in the pit. Do I hear it tink the ground?
You do. I guess everybody can make an intelligence check to try to gauge like the
God.
based on like the distance that it fell and like the sound of like when you heard it.
I have brain.
Woo!
Whoa! Yeah!
After my recent problem with falling from great heights, I've had a keen ear for judging distances.
Great at judging distances based on the amount of time it takes for the sound of the thud to reach your ears.
Oh my god, we suck. It's a Reginald.
Yeah, so the reverberations of the sound, they're not very loud. So actually it's not so much that you don't like Valerie and Arya aren't able to calculate it. It's just that you're too far away to hear it when it drops. It's a very light sound. Reginald, you hear it impact very softly on the ground, and judging by how long it took, it's probably about 20 feet to the bottom.
Alright, it's about a 20-foot drop to the bottom, so survivable if one were to miss a jump.
Yes,
I see.
if one were to miss, of course.
That raises the question of, do we need to make the jumps? I'm also going to light the lantern.
Sure.
Anything, Brad?
No.
Alright, I unlight the lantern.
It plays very colorfully on the smoke down below, but other than that,
Looks very nice. Well, I have no athletics myself.
I think
Yeah,
I have the highest, so...
Does either of you ladies have any magic that might acquire the sword hanging from the last pillar? Or the last...
I'm afraid not.
Lady Valerie?
I don't use magic, remember?
Ah, right.
So, if anything, perhaps let me give it a go?
Are you sure? You failed
I
quite
mean-
badly not long ago.
No,
And I
that was
survived
me.
it.
Oh, right.
I'll look back at Arya. Do you have any more tips on where I should jump?
No.
Alright.
Sorry.
Oh no, this is perfectly okay. I'll take off my stuff of importance. I mean, I'm gonna
He's
basically,
going commando again.
I'm giving her my gold and stuff in case I die down there, but I am taking my weapon just in case. And my
Okay.
shield.
Wait,
But like my gold and stuff, I'm gonna leave with Valerie for now.
Sir Reginald, are you jumping to the platform or are you jumping down?
Oh, the platform.
Oh.
But yeah. I'm assuming I know I'm a dwarf, and dwarfs are short, but I'm still medium. I don't have any disadvantages, right?
no.
All right, I'm gonna jump it.
I'll Aragon him.
I'll Aragon him.
Yeah, I'll toss him. I'll help him get
yeah.
the first.
Oh, Brad, can we benefit from the health action with this?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I don't
very
see why not.
tall.
Like you can.
No,
you can-
what I'm thinking about this is like, you help me with my athletics to get up there, and then you jump up there, and I help you with your athletics by grabbing onto you as you're trying to jump.
No, so you have to be within like 5 foot of the person
Okay,
to
never
start
mind.
to help. So like
So, yeah.
he would be able to help you get there, but you couldn't help him get there.
All right. So yeah, help action.
I'll
Yeah, I can like,
help
give
you.
you like a boost basically to.
Yeah.
He like crouches down, like puts his hands down, and like says like okay, like run and like step, and he'll kind of throw you up as you jump off.
All right. Yeet me.
All right. Yeah.
Be
so you can
careful,
make
Sir Reginald.
an athletics check at advantage.
There it is.
You didn't even need my help.
All right. You rolled a 21. That is pretty good. That is enough to successfully land on the first disc. As soon as you land, your momentum kind of like begins carrying it, and it like swings for a moment. You grab onto the chain to like steady your balance as it's kind of like rocking back and forth now under your weight and the momentum of jumping onto it. I also need you to roll for me a d4.
Oh god damn it.
Sir Reginald, use the momentum to jump to the next platform.
Okay. You have successfully landed, and it's sort of like beginning to stabilize to the point where you think you could
Can
maybe.
I use the momentum to get to the next platform and get advantage on it?
You can certainly.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really going to help you like much because
Mechanically, no.
it's going to work against you as much as it's going to help you. So.
Okay, is the next jump any harder?
It does not appear to be. Like the distance doesn't seem to be any more or anything like that.
Alright. 20.
All right, that is enough to make it to the next platform.
Do you need another d4?
A d4 for me.
1.
Roll a
That's
d6.
what I was.
Roll a
That's
d6
what I was
for
avoiding,
me.
wasn't it? 1.
All right. As you land on this platform, it's like swinging wildly. You hear like a strange like puffing noise, like something sort of like exhaling or kind of like extinguishing almost, and suddenly like this plume, like this small plume of smoke bursts out of the clouds from down below, and I'm going to be using a different token for these things because I do not have the actual token currently available, and I cannot upload it on this account. But you see basically this sort of like little creature, basically that looks like a wisp of smoke almost, kind of pop out of the smoke down below. I need everyone to roll initiative.
God damn it. Also, Brad, raging. Does that give me advantage on athletics checks?
It would, but obviously it would fall off basically after 1 unless you were willing to kind of like stab yourself with a knife or something like that to keep it going.
Guess what I'm about to do? Also, we're in combat though, so it doesn't matter.
The classic barbarian punching yourself to maintain rage.
1 damage. Next round.
No,
1
it
damage.
would have to be more than that. You would have to actually like wound yourself, like.
Oh.
It'd have to be
Heck,
more than
W.
just, like, yeah. I don't want it to just be free. Like you have to actually inflict harm. All right. 1d20 crush. 2. Initial 14.
Time to kill things.
Killing things. So, Olivar, you are the first as you see this sort of like, again, this sort of like grayish black, like smoke like creature with wings and this like long, like twisted nose and clawed hands emerge out of the smoke with hostile intent.
All right. I'll just basically shout to him, like, Sir Reginald, look out! And
What?
I will cast Bardic Inspiration on him.
Oh, I love those things.
You say it in like a singy voice.
No. Just alert him of the danger, since he is slower to react than I am.
Sure thing. Is there anything else you would like to do for an action?
Right. Can I do like a cantrip as well?
Yeah,
Or does it count as a spell?
Bardic Inspiration isn't a spell; it's a class feature. So,
Okay, I'll do Vicious Mockery on it then.
sure thing. That is a Wisdom save, correct?
Yes.
It just succeeds. So your Vicious Mockery has no effect on this creature. All right. Sir Reginald, you see this creature emerge. You're currently like grabbed onto this disc, and it's still sort of like reeling from the momentum. So the effects of that for you while you are on this disc, you will have disadvantage on your attack rolls due to the need to like balance and counteract the swinging of the disc as you're attacking.
Got it, but I can still technically use both my hands and everything.
Yes.
I'm a rage. And then I am going to reckless it. And I'm going to swing at it with my martial attacks for 24 damage. I'm sorry, 24 damage. 24 to hit.
24
for
is
10 damage.
10 points of damage. You clobber this creature, and it seems to sort of like react, and it's kind of like hit back into the smoke before it like reemerges again, seemingly still alive.
Get.
Anything else?
Can I jump to the next one?
You can try.
Loot rush.
Yep. I'll try. Why not? I have advantage on it.
Go for it.
Alright. Have you got any ports? Oh no, because
the-
you have to do it before. No.
Is the net one a fail on a skill check?
No, not necessarily.
Well, it's a 6 is the thing.
What's
can I
the DC?
You
Do
don't
we
know.
know?
We don't know. I'll use my bardic inspiration.
You could roll a 12.
What is it? What is it? A D what?
It's a D6.
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 You could
Roll
have a
a
12.
9!
Oh.
Woo!
Unfortunately, a 9 is still insufficient. So as you leap to the next disc, you sort of miscalculate the amount that this current disc that you're on is still sort of like wobbling around, and you like fall just short and begin to plummet into the smoke down below.
Oops, sorry.
In addition, unfortunately
Sorry,
for
guys.
you, the Mephit also gets an attack of opportunity against you as you
Do it.
plummet with advantage because you did reckless. So it has a +4.
Miss.
So that will miss. So you plummet into the smoke down below, falling 20 feet and taking 7 points of damage.
Guys, I'm okay.
And you are
Does
now
it
like
have because he's raging?
you are no.
No, gravity
you-
damage is true
Yeah,
damage.
gravity damage is gravity damage. You are currently blinded and prone in this cloud of smoke, and it's hard to breathe. You're immediately beginning to have troubles breathing because of the thickness of the
Oh.
smoke. All right,
Bruh.
this Mephit, its target that it was harassing has disappeared into the smoke down below, and I don't think these things actually have any sort of special ability to see you. No, so it is going to fly to the next closest creature it can see in the doorway, that being you, Olivar. And
Yay.
you see it like coils backwards and its chest begins to like expand almost like comically, and then it sort of arcs forth, and this cloud of like ash and smoke pours out into the hallway. I need all three of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh man, glad I'm not in that.
Dexterity saving throw.
Oof, nice.
Oh!
Oh my god.
All right,
Fucking killing
you are all successful and face no adverse effects from this cloud of smoke that blasts you in the eyes. Arya.
All right. I would like to cast Hideous Laughter. And I'll use my portent to make a saving roll a 1.
All right.
You got an 18 and a 1?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So you cast Hideous Laughter, having seen this moment before, and the creature just sort of goes and like suddenly begins like laughing furiously, and just like its wings stop like moving as it's just like incapacitated, and it just falls into the cloud of smoke down below.
Flat.
And poof, you hear like a thud down below. You can't see it, so you're unsure as to whether or not it has been killed by this. But I believe that would also immediately end the spell because it takes damage.
It makes another save.
Okay, it makes it with advantage because it took damage. Yeah, that's right. 2d20, keep highest, and it's wisdom?
Yeah.
That is not right. I forgot to put the 1 after it. There we go. I believe that will not beat your DC, so it is still laughing. You still hear, I guess you hear the thud. There's like silence for a moment, and then you hear like a from down below. Valerie.
I sort of go. I suppose I'll like run over to the edge. I'll take one of my little frost vials to ready an attack with Ray of Frost if I see an enemy approach, and I'll call out into the mist. Sir Reginald, are you okay?
Yes, but I can't see. I'm assuming I get a response. I think.
Yeah. I mean, you're coughing and choking from the smoke, but you can still kind of like call out and respond. Like you can still hear things.
Got it. Then that is my response.
Oliver. Back to
you. Does this smoke appear to be like magical, or is it just smoke coming from somewhere, or is it just smoke hovering, like just because?
Without any sort of like way to identify magic like particles in the air, essentially, there's no way to really tell if it's like magical. It does appear to just be like smoke, as far as you can tell. You're not exactly sure if it's stemming from a magical effect or not.
Cast dancing lights, and it's 4 orbs. So I'll like place the first orb where I saw Sir Reginald plummet down.
Okay.
And I'll basically plant one of them each, like showing him the way to the ledge where we are standing at.
Yeah, sure. So they sink down into the smoke. It obscures them and kind of like shrinks the light, but they're close enough together that it does kind of like you can see like the glow underneath the heavy fog and smoke as this like trail almost appears. So Reginald.
So I can't see anything, right?
You can now see like this sort of like very dim glowing light in the smoke up ahead, but you're like coughing and choking basically. Like you are actually like you didn't have time to like hold your breath, so you're like suffocating in this fog.
I also basically like to tell him like follow the lights.
I also have like a glowing, I think, book.
I believe yes, you still have a glowing book.
So I'm gonna follow the lights back. Which I'm assuming they're leading back to here.
Yeah, so that's about like you jumped about 30 feet out, so they lead about 30 feet back to that wall, basically.
I will dash that way.
Okay.
Is there anything on the wall? Is there a ladder, Brad?
No. As you feel the wall, there doesn't appear to be like a ladder or anything. You do like step on something.
Oh, is it my coin? I pick it up.
You hear like a horrible laughter like beneath you as you like step on something, and it kind of like it like laughs like, you know, this horrible sort of like stuffed toy, like it's like this squeaky like laugh as you step on it.
Does anyone have a rope?
Everyone check your inventories.
You dash to get up there, so that's it.
I do not have a.
So this creature is just having the time of its life, man. It's so funny. 1d20. Okay, it finally, at the end of its turn, it finally like and like stops laughing. Oh, that is its turn. Arya.
Smash its face with a book.
So it's not visible, right?
It is currently not visible. It's down in the smoke.
I will just hold Mind Sliver. Becomes visible.
Sure thing. Valerie?
I don't really have anything I can do here. Suppose I'll like call down. Try and see if you can find a way up, Sir Reginald. And I'll like step away from the ledge. Maybe I'll go into this room, like the alchemist room. Maybe there's something we can use to like give him a boost. Like, I don't know, a barrel or something, or a box or a step ladder or something.
Or rope.
Yeah. A rope.
that somebody probably has on them.
I don't.
We didn't start with starting equipment. Like,
You didn't buy rope?
no.
Listen, I had to buy 100 gold pearl.
That's true. You have an excuse. Oh yeah, so you begin hastily like looking around for any sort of like furniture or something. Like there's tables. The only thing is that like anything that you take from here, like it's gonna take time because you have to very carefully move the vials to prevent them from like smashing open, creating like a chemical reaction to like actually get any of the furniture out of here. So it's going to be a little bit like time consuming, and time is a little bit on the low side right now. But you can certainly try.
There's no table that has like the least amount of shit on it, maybe.
No, everything is just covered.
Oh fuck.
You could just
how long?
You could just say fuck it and knock it all off to like, and just like hope that it doesn't do like an absurd amount of damage.
All right. Well, how long would it take to like clear stuff off?
Probably to do it safely, it would take 2 rounds of actions.
2 rounds. Okay. I'll commit my first round of action to try and clear off like a table or step ladder or whatever it is that I can use to give Sir Reginald a boost.
Sure, yeah. So you begin like clearing off one of the like workbenches, basically like carefully, gingerly like moving these vials, making sure not to like clatter them together or break any of them or anything like that.
Yeah.
Olivar.
Did we all like make the how far? Did we all discover how far we thought it was? Like 20 feet.
I think
Down
Reginald told everybody. I think he
Yeah,
like, relayed it. Yeah.
All right. I am like almost 7 feet tall. No. I'm 6'7". Can I like lie down and like try to reach down? How far like my wings? I don't know. My wingspan would be like.
So typically, like for a humanoid creature, your wingspan is basically the same as your height. So if you're putting down one arm, it would be half of your height.
All right. So like 3
Yeah, it would
3
go
feet.
down like 3-4 feet maybe of the 20.
Yeah. Sir Reginald, do you have a rope?
No.
Nobody has any rope.
No.
Oh, I love it.
I'll.
The moment we're done here, I'm gonna go buy an adventurers kit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'll
then
actually
never-
go
and
back
then
into
never
the.
need it
I'll
again.
go. Can I help Valerie? Use my turn to help Valerie clear it, so it takes only one round.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go in there and start like assisting and use your action to clear off the table, you can do so as well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah. So the between the two of you, basically this round, you like get this like workbench like cleared off of everything, and then it's just a matter of like dragging it out of the room. Meanwhile, Sir Reginald, this is the second round. that
Yeah,
you've been-
second full round that I've been down in here. Yeah.
Okay. What's your constitution? It's like 4, right?
Modifier
Yeah, the modifier.
4.
Okay. So currently, you are suffocating. So you have 2 more rounds to extricate yourself from the smoke before it like overcomes you and the smoke inhalation gets to you. But in the meantime, you are up against the wall. There does not appear to be any sort of like ladder or anything like that, but the wall is like made of bricks. So there's like grooves. It's going to be difficult because it's not intended to be climbed, but it could theoretically be climbed.
Can I see this little shit right below me?
I mean, you could like hear it and like vaguely see it. It's still obscured, so you would still have disadvantage attacking it.
I'm assuming if I try to climb out of here and if I'm successful on the check, it's going to be half movement speed.
Yeah, because you're climbing. Yeah,
Would I be able to dash it?
it's it would be 40 feet total then in that case of movement. So yes,
Okay. So and I'd be able to get to the top with that, right?
yes.
And it's just an athletics. So you know what? Am I? I'm trying to think. Am I raging still? I don't think I am. I didn't attack anything last round.
Yeah, you just dashed, so it would have ended at the end of that.
So I'm just gonna try to climb up with athletics.
Go for it.
Does a 9 get me out of here, Brad?
A 9 is going to be insufficient to scale this wall.
All right.
You begin to make your way up and just sort of like lose your grip and slide back down.
That is my turn.
All right, this creature is going to get up, just very angry, and it is going to attack you with disadvantage. Keep lowest, +4, and oop, that didn't work. I guess I gotta drop highest. I thought keep lowest was valid, but it's not anymore apparently. Oh no, because I didn't put /R. Durr. Just whiffs.
Hard miss. Don't make me turn down and bring the wrath of knowledge on.
Aria.
I'll just try to help them.
Okay. I mean, at this point, they've got it like cleared out. So yeah, you move in there and begin to help them kind of like drag this table out of the room, essentially. And I assume basically you guys are spending your turns, all three of you, like dragging the table out, and then I guess like dropping it into the pit in such a way that it maybe like angles against the wall and like provides something to like at least give a boost up.
Yeah, Olivar's a tall man. Maybe he can like lean on his belly and like hold it, or something like that.
Just hold it down there. Tell them to grab the legs.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. It'll
Improvised rope.
yeah.
Yep.
Need rope when you have table.
It'll hang down quite a bit. He'll still have to like climb up to the base of it, but then yeah, it'll be easier to climb to that than it would be to climb the whole wall.
I don't know. My athletic skill rolls have not been going good lately.
All right, Sir Reginald, your vision is going very blurry.
Is there a table here, or has the table not gotten here yet?
Well, it's not all the way at the bottom. You can hear like movement and like clattering up above you, and like there's a shout like basically like grab the table or something like that. Although you don't see a table.
I grab the table. Brad.
Okay.
I can use my bonus action to move the lights, so I'll move the lights so they all surround the table.
Sure. As you see this faintly
13.
glowing silhouette. A 13, you like run at the wall, running up it and kind of like climbing, and just barely manage to grab the like legs of this work table that's dangling down into the pit. I assume you guys basically then like hoist him out
Yep.
and up
Yeah.
onto the sit back and up onto the thing. Very good. This method.
Well, you're not suffocating anymore.
Yep. Pat myself off a little bit as I get to the top. I was like, let's leave.
Forgot to roll for this a couple times, so yep. Okay, there we go. So it bursts out of the smoke. I don't think anybody has any ready actions right now because you're all moving the table.
Yep.
So it's going to attack
With smoke, Brad, perchance.
22.
Against me?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
You take 3 points of damage.
Man, the knowledge is coming.
Aria.
I will cast Mind Slip.
Very well. It's intelligence? Yes. That is. It's a
6
fail.
points of psychic.
It is
And
dead.
oh, good. Just blew its brain.
Yep.
Blew its brains. It
You gave it a
disappears.
stroke.
It disappears in a puff of smoke that actually leaves like this 5-foot radius cloud of smoke that disperses out of its body. And just,
Do you
like,
remember? Hold
hangs
your breath
there.
this time, Sir Reginald.
Yes. I suppose you want me to go again then, Miss Valerie?
No, I think let's get out of here.
But the sword.
We can come back for the sword. Maybe. Oh,
That was
Christ.
a bust. But what was down there, Sir Reginald?
A lot of smoke.
Didn't notice anything else?
Yeah, I mean,
Not at all.
he didn't make any attempts to like search for anything else. He just like ran through the lights. So
All right.
I say we can come back here another time for the sword.
perhaps it would be best for us to give the statue and then maybe come back at a later date.
Exactly what I was thinking. Right. I turn to
Come
the
back more
south side.
prepared.
More for help. Oh Christ. Alright, well, I guess Oliver and Sir Reginald can begin hoisting the statue. As Valerie and Arya take point.
Sure thing. So you're exiting from the alleyway.
Yep.
Very well.
I hope we get out unmolested.
Yes. So you slowly drag this unicorn through the hallways, navigating your way back to the entrance, where you can see basically like the sky above you as you exit from the alleyway here.
Yep.
And have
Take the keys to the mouth.
successfully leave the alley with the heavy ass unicorn in tow. I think the last thing we're gonna probably call things here for today. The last thing we see basically is you guys like dragging this like unicorn statue out from the alley into the busy streets, and everybody just like looks at you, like gives you this like weird look as you're just like carrying this unicorn statue through the streets.
What? Haven't you seen winners before?
And Oliver and Sir Reginald, you're carrying the statue. I think the last thing, basically, as you're carrying the statue, like leaving the alleyway properly, you hear a voice inside of your head, and it sort of says, "Finally free from that terrible place. I thank you." And that will be where we will leave things off.
Sorry, what
Oh
the fuck?
my
What?
god. Now, oh my god. So Reginald, if it curses you, you'll have to do more community service than before.
Why would it curse me? I just rescued it.
I don't know. You're a very cantankerous dwarf.
Ugh. I'm never gonna do that community service. I swear to God, I'm never gonna do it.
We can pay for a decurse thingy, otherwise. If it becomes a problem.
Just pay a whole bunch of gold to decurse you because you don't want to do 48 hours of community service.
Yep.
Worth.
This dwarf will
Christ.
go the rest of his life with a curse.
All right. So, with that, that will be the end of today's episode. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, and until then, see you all. Who would like to do the recap next week for inspiration?
I volunteer, Mike.
bada bing.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, very well. Then Mike shall be in charge of the recap next week. We'll see you all then.